Now we have a crisis in the Middle East, and the president gets asked a question 2 days before we're leaving and says, I will not answer questions about Afghanistan. How many Americans, and where did we ever think that an American president would make a decision knowingly leaving Americans behind? It is disgusting.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy in focus just moments ago, taking aim at President Biden for his handling of the troop withdrawal in Afghanistan and blowing off questions again yesterday. Here's that particular walkaway.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Can you see if there's still an
Okay.
Ari Fleischer is a former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor, shaking his head now. You've been in the hot spot of preparing a president for those moments. What did you think of this one?
Everything about it was wrong. Look, there are times when the president should give a statement and walk away. There are times when the president should not take questions. Yesterday, as soon as he said, I will take questions, he, of course, should have answered about Afghanistan. It's too obvious. You know, Harris, the members of our military answer the call. The least the president could do is answer the question, and he didn't.
We're looking at here on the Faulkner Focus the big wall, and today's big wall shows Walkaway Joe. I mean, this is not an isolated event. And part of the problem, Ari, is you say that it's subject matter driven. And I don't know why the words, I'm not supposed to take questions, I've been instructed to. I don't know why those words come out of his mouth in the first place, because normally he just walks away. But that needed a preamble of, I'm not taking questions, oh, but I might.
I was kind of wondering who is the staffer in a superior position to the President of the United States who gives him instructions, as the President puts it. I used to give recommendations to the President. I used to give advice to the President, but the President made the decisions, and I could not and would not instruct him. It's just odd that the President looks at his staff in such a manner that they can instruct him. But he needs to be the one making the calls. He made the call to bug out of Afghanistan. He made the call that we withdraw all our forces. He has the right to make that call. Once he did it, though, he needed a communication strategy because, Harris, this is an issue that the American people do care about. This is going to break through, and this will linger. It's already broken through, and this will linger way after August 31st, tomorrow. And he utterly failed to prepare the American people for what was going to happen, what could go wrong. And he dismissed it, if you remember, right before July 4th by saying he only wanted to talk about happy things. It's a 3-day weekend. Doesn't work that way.
No ice cream for this journey. Real quickly, Ari, and I'll have to let you go. Just an observation as you were talking. It's not always going to be pretty, but just tell us what's going on. We can take it. We're the greatest nation on earth. Ari Fleischer, thank you for being in focus. Thank you for watching the Faulkner Focus. About this time tomorrow, we'll be very, very short hours away from August 31st, the deadline hour of when we have to pull out of Afghanistan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.